Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's podcast initiated by the EQUALISER project. This project strives to promote equality in the contemporary workplace, and today we are focusing on the wage gap and its implication for women in the business world. My name is Carlota Uroz, and I'm now working as a researcher for the country of Spain on the EQUALISER project. Today I'm here with Miss Paula Gutierrez. She's close to being a specialist on the gender equality topics. So welcome, Paula. I want to let you know that because we couldn't meet in person, you are being recorded, but I'm sure you're okay with that. So please, Paula, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, Carlota. Thank you for having me here. And obviously, thank you to the Equalizer Project for giving this space to young persons to talk about this. And talking about myself a little bit, I'm cursing right now the double degree of educational work and social work. And I'm trying to specialize my studies in gender. So that's why I'm here. And for the listeners, I want to say that my English is not the best, but I'm trying.
Okay.
I will try in this
That's
interview.
okay, Paula. Don't worry about it. So, as I said before, we're going to be talking about the wage gap, and I think it's a good start to begin with the definition of this concept. And if you could, Paula, explain us a little bit why it is so important in today's business world.
Yes, of course. Of course. When we talk about the wage gap, it's a huge concept, and we have to be aware that a lot of things are inside of them. But for me, the most basic term that I want to bring up to the table before we talk about the wage gap is intersectionality. Intersectionality, or making a view with intersectionality, means that you are aware of the reality in the complex world. Like, you, when we are talking about women in this case, you have to be aware that depending on her ethnicity, her religion, her economy, her social context, her sexual identity, could face another problems or another way of discrimination at work than the persons that are white and like
White,
normative.
straight, yes.
Yes. So taking that into consideration in all of this interview, that this is a huge factor that we are talking about. The wage gaps refers to the disparity in earnings between women and men, basically. And obviously, this is a term that is nowadays like in the news and in everywhere. But despite the advancement in gender equality, these gaps persist across the industries in general and job levels in general. So I want to bring up a fact that I have here. According to the latest data from the US Census Bureau, women earn approximately 82 cents for every dollar earned by men. This is significant, even though it's a little difference.
Yes.
Like, it reflects systemic inequalities and impacts women's economic security and well-being, because you are paid less just because you're a woman and not for other reason.
Yes, that's not fair. I really like your point of view there. I think the definition you provided is really accurate. This difference of paying between men and women just for the fact that you are women. And now that we have defined this concept, or better, now that we have defined this reality that women have to face, what are some of the factors that contribute to perpetuate the wage gap?
Okay, there are several factors at play, but taking into consideration, as I said, the social factor, if we want to talk about something visual like statistics, we can talk about the occupational segregation. women are concentrated in lower paying fields or positions like less low.
Yeah, lower paid.
Lower paid. Sorry,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I said. Uh, it's important to be aware of that because women are associated to be working in fields that are taking care in take care they take care like they are involving caring in the whole meaning of the word, and in their private life, in their public life, and obviously what we are talking in work life. So I want to bring another fact to the table because I think that is important to be aware of that this is something that I have studied a lot of persons before we are talking about this. So the Bureau of Labor Statistics reports that women are overrepresented in occupations such as healthcare, education, and administrative support, which tend to have lower wages compared to male-dominated fields. As I said before, obviously, women often face barriers such as discrimination in hiring, promotions, and salary negotiations, and obviously, this main topic about pregnancy and motherhood affects women in labor, in the workplaces, and in the business world in general. So, the motherhood pregnancy is a thing where women experience a decrease in wages after having children or thinking about like having them. Is this topic, this affirmation is also exacerbating the wage gap. Because so I think that
yes. I think what you just said is really important because usually we see as a society, we see that frustration in women when they are trying to escalate and they can't, and they have to choose between their personal life and their work life because as you say, women are usually the ones that are taking care of the house, of the children, and then apart they have to take care of their job. Motherhood, like you said, plays a really important role in. So, taking into account that women are usually boxed in this profession related to caretaking, and therefore they are boxed in these lower wage ranges, how does the wage gap affects women careers, and how these affect their progression and advancement and their opportunities?
Um, Obviously, the wage gap not only affects women's current earnings, as you said, but it also has long-term consequences for their career trajectories and for their lives in general. As I said before, it's really important to think about the opportunities that a woman has, referring to give a progressions in her work life. So, bringing up, for example, another fact, because I think that when we are women talking about women things and gender, we have to validate our speech with facts. So, according to a study by McKinsey and Company, women are less likely to receive promotions and advancement opportunities compared to their male counterparts, contributing to the persistence of the wage gap. Obviously, as I said, lower wages can limit women's ability to invest in further education or skills development, and their advancement opportunities are limited by a lot of facts.
So, like you said, if women are not even able to get promotions, they are therefore stuck in the lower wage range. They're not even able to get higher paid because they are not getting higher positions in companies.
Yes, obviously, unequal pay reinforces gender stereotypes and the biases, and they, as you said, is making it harder for women to break through the glass ceiling and reach leadership position, but also for being stuck to the ground in a sticky floor situation.
So, could you explain a little bit what that sticky floor situation means?
Yes, obviously a sticky floor, like the concept, means like, well, I'm going to give you an example, like a visual example, so I can define what I want to say. Mm-hmm. Yes, imagine like women are in this range of like opportunities to work and developing our work life. Okay, so the top is the glass ceiling, the bottom is the sticky floor. And for example, you and I, that we are studying and we are cursing right now,
a degree,
careers, we are, for example, here in the middle. So we as women are be like upgrading our professional life into that direction, like getting to the glass ceiling. And there are a lot of women that are under the middle of the range. So the women that are stick to the ground are the women that, for example, can choose about her work life because they don't have the opportunity to have any. Because they are relegated to the private life, like taking care of the kids. That is really great if you can choose. So, or for example, in a country that racism is a thing, if you are a woman, a black woman, or a woman with another ethnicity, you are going to be directly under the middle of the range. So we are giving privilege to women that are normative, or that they have the opportunities because they have a family and support, and
they have the economic income. Yeah.
Yes. So it's really important to be aware that not every woman is like in the same point starting a career or a job, like working.
So what you said is that depending on the circumstances, you could be stuck to the floor and you are not able to escalate in a business. Like we as privileged women, we are able to escalate. Obviously we have to face the glass ceiling, but there are other women that are not even able to face that because they are stuck to the floor. They don't have any opportunities in their work life. So this is a real issue that affects women all around the world, and it's a problem that needs to be fixed because it affects half of the population. And so what can businesses and organizations do to address the gap and to promote gender equality, because they are the one that the wage gap affect the most. So what can these organizations do, like fight against that and stand for equality in the workplace?
Obviously, the first thing that the companies have to do is believing that this is a problem and give the solutions, or want to give solutions about it. So many companies don't believe in equal pay, and obviously these companies, the first thing that they have to do is believe. For the other companies that nowadays seems to be feminist or have feminism values, it's important to conduct regular pay equality, to identify and rectify any disparities in first place, and because this is important, and I'm going to bring another fact, that is that according to a research by the Institute of Women's Policy Research, implementing transparent salary policies and providing training on unconscious bias can help mitigate discriminatory practices. And yes, obviously, equal pay is basic and it's necessary. It shouldn't be a conversation right now for me. But if we are taking in consideration like the majority of the companies, obviously they don't pay the same to a woman than to a man, and providing, as I said, training and unconscious bias. I think that is important because you have to be aware in your mind that you have to face this reality and help to mitigate it. For example, when we are talking about the women that are moms or the motherhood problem, as we said before, offering family-friendly policies such as paid parental leave or flexible work arrangements can support women to participate in the workforce and reduce the motherhood penalty that we said before.
So first of all is awareness, like businesses have to be aware that this is an actual problem and that is a problem that needs to be fixed. It's not something that we can make that it doesn't exist. We have to face it and we have to face it and fix it. So I think it's really interesting what you say, the thing with the motherhood and the pregnancy, because sometimes women have to choose between their personal life and their work life, and making businesses like help them in this aspect. I think it's really good for like ending the wage gap. So as we know, this is a problem that not only affects businesses but the society as a whole. So I think this is really utopic, but what can individuals do? What can everybody do to advocate for change and to try and close this wage gap?
Okay, as you said, it's important that we know that we have to do something about it, and as individuals, we can advocate for pay transparency and accountability within the organizations that we are working in. So what I'm saying is that you have to educate yourself, because this is the first step to know what you should be fighting for or what you should be expecting to be paid for an organization. So as an individual, you have to educate yourself and be critic and reflexive about the conditions at workplace and policies that surround them. And knowing your rights is really important to explain your rights to other persons. And when you are educated, you should be teaching other persons what you have learned about it, or I don't know, educate people in general. And
so
for example,
people, if people are aware of their rights, they can fight for them. Like if you don't know you have the right of having an equal pay, then you are not going to fight for an equal pay. So I think that's really important when you say that education is key. Being aware of your surroundings and being aware of that you have rights, and I think that's really important.
And for example, a thing that individuals can do that is supported by a survey. A survey by Glassdoor said that the 70% of employees believe that knowing their college's salaries will help reduce the gender wage gap. So as an individual, you can't know if you are paying equal if you don't know what the other co-workers are paying for the same job. And in women, normally, as I said before, they are paid less, and they don't know it in most cases. So as an individual, you should support initiatives and policies that promote gender equality. So when you are in an organization, for example, working for an organization, you have to be the person that knows everyone, like what everyone gets paid for the same job, because we need policies that support public
salaries,
information. It's not salary, it's information about the organization.
The transparency within
transparency.
Yes,
obviously. And additionally, I want to say that it's essential to educate themselves again and others about the wage gap and how the wage gap impacts, and create a collective mind about what should it be and what are we going to do to solve it, like collective in a like in community. I don't know if
Yes,
that's
to work
the
collectively to end this. Like, if we are all educated, we have to. This is because at the end of the day, I think this is not only a women's problem. It's something that affects women directly, but it's something that needs the help, or not the help, but the action of everybody. Everybody should be aware of what's going on and why women are being paid less. And this is something that, as you said, education is key to make people aware that we should all end this weight gap. So knowing that you are being paying less is really important, for knowing that you have to stand up for yourself and end with that weight gap. So I think it's really interesting what you just talk about. So thank you very much, Paula, for sharing your insights on the wage gap and its implication for women. It was a pleasure to have you here and to have this little discussion, this little conversation about uh, gender equality. This conversation, I think, it highlighted the urgency of addressing this systemic inequality that women have to face. And is with this kind of conversation, we are creating a way for the future. And is there anything else you would like to add?
Yes, I would like to say that thank you for having me here and for thinking about me to make this little chat about gender. And thank you, obviously, to the Equalizer project. And as a conclusion, I want to say that I encourage young people and young women to be aware of these topics because it's important to have an opinion, like a strong opinion of these things, and promote other women and rights, and I don't know, like educate yourself. And for the women, I want to say that I hope that you like what we have just said. And I don't know. Thank you for having me here. I guess.
You're welcome, Paula. I really like what you said. It's really important for young people to be aware of these kind of problems. We encourage them to talk about them and to educate themselves and to be aware of their surroundings. So thank you once again to the Equalizer project for giving us the opportunity to speak our minds and address this problem. And that's all for today. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.